The Parramatta Eels, 15th last year, 7 wins, 17 losses, minus 155 points differential. Now, the losses for last year, bear with me, there is quite a few. Ethan Sanders, Blaze Talangi, Regan Campbell-Gillard, Mike Acevo, Clint Gutherson, Dejan Arce, Kai Rodwell, Makahisi Makatoa, Morgan Harper, Ofahiki Ogden, Tavita Pinu, and Zach Sini. Now, the games, slightly smaller, but still a few there. Zach Lomax, Isaiah Iongi, Dean Hawkins, Joash Papali'i, Jordan Samarani, Jack Williams, Kidioni Katoga, Josh Addo-Carr, and Ronald Volkman, who is currently on a train and trial, but I believe he's getting very close to a NRL deal. Oh, after that, I need a quick breath, get into it. Now, obviously for mine, the big talking point for the Eels, to just get straight into this, a huge turnaround in terms of the balance of this club, because they've just had Brad Arthur there for 10 plus years, instrumental in a lot of what they did and what they built, personality-wise, player-wise, just the way the club was run, the identity was all basically Brad Arthur and what he believed it went for. They've had a huge shake-up. They've had a huge shake-up in terms of personnel. They've lost a number of players who were key and crucial to the Brad Arthur era. Gutho's obviously huge. Reg is another one. Then a few of those sort of players who would just fit roles for Brad throughout the years, where like your Makatoas and stuff, they don't have them anymore. Now we enter the roles era. It's going to be about how quickly those players can adapt from that style that they've been used to for years now. I'm talking your Junior Paulos. I'm talking your Moses, your Dylan Brown, those sorts of players, to now a brand new coach, brand new systems. Not doubting Jason Rolls one bit. I think he's going to bring great things to the club. It's just going to be interesting to see how they all sort of unfold and adapt to that. And the club as well. It's going to be a huge shake-up. They've already done a lot of things behind the scenes that look to be working. Some decent signings there for sure. So there is reason for optimism, but I think it may take a little bit longer than first thought to get all the pieces in the right place and then go forward. Jake?
Well, in terms of your points, yeah, look, it's the year that maybe the most excited to watch the Eels. Obviously, being an Eels fan, I'm the most excited to watch the Eels I have been in a long time, in a really long time, because it's just finally something different. I understand, of course, that with change comes the risk of potentially getting worse until things like gel and stuff like that. But it is change. It's finally something different at the club, and Brad hasn't worked. Brad's sort of method hasn't worked for now 2 years, and sort of it just felt like no matter what happened, it was stale and stagnant the last 2 years. Like he wouldn't make changes despite issues with how people were playing and form or anything like that. He just picked and sticked the whole 2 years, and I think everyone, as most Eels fans would be saying, this is a breath of fresh air. I'll let Trav have his say on that before I get to my point, but yeah, I definitely think that it's exciting. It's new and exciting, so it's definitely an exciting year for the Eels.
Go your point. Yeah. Just go your point. Keep going.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, right. Okay. No worries. Well, look, my sort of main point is what I'd like to see and what I'm hoping happens is actually that having that pace in the back line, or the sort of faster squad that we're going to have this year, I hope that unlocks Moses and Brown's running game even more, because it feels like Brown has been so on the cusp of having this amazing running game for a few years, but he always seems to has that hesitation and have that lack. But as a support player, he's always there. Same with Moses. If they can get that ball away, they're always there in support. So if we can get, now that we have a bit of pace in our back line, if we can be making those line breaks, it feels like we almost shouldn't. Like we should be scoring a lot more tries if we can make a few more line breaks kind of thing, and we have the halves to do it. So I'm hoping that injection of pace and youth that's my sort of main point. Is I hope that and inclusive of Iongi kind of thing. Like Gutho obviously was so good for us, but Iongi's going to bring something different, and he's going to bring that sort of pace. And I'm hoping that that the youth will allow him to kind of also still fill the work rate that Gutho did. I don't think anyone can fit the work rate that Gutho ever did, but I'm hoping that injection of youth and speed just kind of has him just buzzing all around Moses and Brown and kind of always there ready for those line breaks and stuff like that. So that's my main hope for this season for them.
Trav?
My point was, I thought I was quite funny with this one, but
Careful.
Yeah, then I'm starting to think, well, maybe I don't, based off what you two just said. Anyways, how about we just go out with the trash, in with the new. Yeah, I'll change what I had. I had something really funny. I'll say it to you off air. If you like it, then Joel can post it. But
we'll share it to the legends. We'll give them something.
I thought I did a really good job with that. But out with the trash, in with the new, right? So, which is essentially what you were trying to say, both of you, Jake, Joel, and Jake. But Jake particularly with the clean out, the fresh start, the newness. Now you can only have that by the fact that you've got to get rid of so many. All right, you can't have a clean out without getting rid of things. And you got rid of your coaching staff. You got a new one in. You had to get rid of all these players. And so be it for the cause of some of that. Particularly around Gutho and what happened. It was a mutual agreement that he deserved. Well, he wanted the money and he could get it. The club said, "Yep, sure, right. We're not going to pay that. We don't want to, but go and chase it. We're happy to support that. That's good. I don't mind that. But out with the trash, in with the new is where I went." My concern is based off Joel, and I'll it's not a rebuttal, but my concern with this is it's a tough start. They've got a tough start, right? And what's going to happen if that doesn't work? If the Storm come out and annihilate them, or something that happens in round one, then what's going to happen the week after that when they go to the Tigers? Because we just talked about how much we think the Tigers are going to improve. So what happens? How does that momentum then take them to the Tigers? Then they've got one of the best defensive teams in the comp last year for up until the last 3 rounds in the Bulldogs. My concern is that how much pressure is going to be on them even after the first 5 rounds, and what's going to happen. And then what's going to happen. I just can foresee Para fans and everyone just. I can just see the conversations. I think for someone like you and Jake, Joel, that are going to be are a little bit more realistic. I just have concerns around what's going to happen if things don't really change because of what happens in those first few games. Because so I've got those issues. There's so much, right? You've got a young fullback in Iongi. Addo Carr suspended, I think, isn't he? He's missing at least.
That's the Bulldogs game.
Yeah, so he misses the first 2. So you're missing that pace in the first 2. You got Penasini. You got Lomax, obviously. He's a star. I just think he'd be better out in the wing than the centers. But anyways, Bailey Simonson. You got Dill Brown. Now there's so much talk around what he does and how he goes. What's the talk going to be on him if results don't work out well in the first couple of weeks? Mitchell Moses is a superstar in the waiting, right? He's a gun now, but he's not a superstar just yet, but he can be, right? So, but what's going to happen there? You got pressure on Junior Paulo. You got, even in the 9s, we're all predicting. Well, I predict Brendan Hand's going to come in at the 9 spot, but is that really actually going to happen? We don't know that. So there's just so many things, right? That you just don't know. Like how does Hopgood return? Is Ryan Madison actually going to play and where? Like what's going to happen there? What's your bench going to look like? And so I've got all these questions already and how this is going to happen. And I really don't envy the position Riles is in for all of these questions about what's going to happen. And then you throw that draw to start off with. I think we're in for a bleak and dark year for the Parramatta fans, but I do see some upside in some, and I hope what happens is you stick fat, right, and I think some things just stick fat. I think Iongi just sits there. You just sit him there, stick your guys where they need to be, and just stick fat for it and leave it there for a long time and just let it play, right? Let it play out. I just hope that people just don't ride them too hard. Joel, when you turn up to your SGA meetings, don't ride them too hard.
No, I won't be. I think I've ridden them hard enough so far over the last 12 months or so. But yeah, shout out to the little SJ announcement there on the page. So great and honoured to be part of that. But look, you raised some very valid points. I think it's something that a lot of Para fans need to realise. And one thing I get a bit annoyed about with Para fans is there's a certain group of fans that just rose-coloured glasses on. And I'm not talking just for Parramatta. I'm talking in general. I love being passionate about your club, but sometimes you do have to just call a spade a spade. You can't polish a turd, as they say, like that at certain points. And you got to be realistic. Like we've had the two of the worst years for the club in a fair few years now, and things needed to change. Personnel needed to change. There's still a lot of players who have been there over those last 2 years that are still there. So huge pressure on Riles, no doubt about that at all. One thing I'll say that I'm excited about with all those questions you have, Trav, is that the fact that they are questions coming into this year, because as a Para fan, as Jake said the last couple of years, we've just been used to Brad Arthur being like, oh, yeah, the second row is going to be Lane and Cartwright. Our backline's going to be this. And every week we go, oh, it should be changes. But in the back of our mind, we know it's going to be the same team. And we're just like, oh, whatever. Where now it's actually exciting. We've got no idea how pretty much 60% of our team's going to look come round one. And that's so exciting. You're hearing rumors already that players like Lane and stuff are being told, like, you're not going to be potentially an edge. You're a middle and you're in the rotation, that sort of thing. Like, that excites people. And I think it's one of our most exciting backlines for some time. And that's to have that bit of pace, something that I think we've been a very slow backline. I've said that for a while now. To have that almost switched around in a preseason and have that identified by a head coach is exciting. It definitely is times there to be excited. Again, I'll continue to say I don't think it happens in a day. Rome will definitely not be built in a day when it comes to this. Very, very valid. I hope Riles sticks with his systems and goes from there. The big pressure to unlock that backline and to unlock this team, and hasn't been mentioned, is our forward pack. Our forward pack has been bashed now for 2 years. I don't remember a game over the last 2 seasons where we actually got up via maybe one of those Penrith games where the forward pack just comes alive anytime we play the Panthers. But apart from that, we just get bashed constantly. We've just lost a guy who probably stood up as best as he could each and every time that happened. So there's a lot of pressure on this forward pack moving forward and getting the mix right with who to play, when to play them, and to have that more mobile, agile forward pack, because the modern game, that's what we need. And I just feel like there's a couple of forwards that aren't into that. But looking at some of these preseason pictures, like Junior Paulo's lost half of himself. It looks like it's ridiculous. So, yeah, Jake?
One thing I will say about the whole, I do hope that he sticks to his systems and stuff. Of course I do. I hope that Royal sticks to his systems, even if we're losing a few games early on and stuff like that. I hope that he sticks and goes this is going to work. But at the same time, he is a beginner coach, which is obviously that sort of that risk that we have in there. And there is obviously that chance that things might not go right. And I hope that he also still kind of, if something's glaringly an issue, I am hoping that he does, I do hope that he's willing to make those changes as well, like small changes. I'm not saying he should change the entire system early because it's his first time and he should try and pick and stick and give it some time to be able to look. What I kind of mean is I hope he gives it, he should by round, I reckon 10, know what is working for the team and what is not, and try then to by then we should kind of have a set idea of what the team should mostly look like, kind of thing. And then obviously throughout the rest of the season, if form plays a part and whatever. But I just feel like, he being the, beginner coach, he needs to have that time to kind of set what is his expectations into motion as well with the club. You can work as hard as you want in the preseason, but preseason, only equates to so much once you take the field. And once the games actually start happening, you can actually, do some video and things like that. So while I do hope he sticks to his guns and sticks to his systems, I hope he's also flexible enough that he can kind of do what needs to be done. I hope he doesn't do basically what Brad did and was a bit of all talk but everyone just stays where they are. I hope he doesn't do that, but it could go either way. That's why I'm saying I'm so excited, because there's actually questions, and that's what I'm excited about. Things can actually change.
Trav, what are your realistic expectations for the Eels this season?
I'm going to have 2 points here. So as much as I said that was a tough start, they do play the Tigers in the first 10 rounds twice. They've got the Dragons in round 5. They play the Raiders in round 6. They've got a bye, which might be really timely in round 8. Then they come up against a tough Sharks team, and then they've got the Dolphins in round 10. So there's a tough start, but it'll be interesting. My prediction is round 27 spoon bowl 2 years in a row.
That's tough. That's tough.
Ouch. Jake?
You know who are they playing in round 27?
Probably the Tigers.
They're playing the Knights.
No, you already said it. Yeah, okay. There you go. That could be valid.
Spoon bowl round 27 2 years in a row.
It's fair enough. It's fair enough to have those reservations, and I think that's fine. I am not going to go that way. I am going to have a bit of the old para faith, a bit of the old para hope, and I'm going to put us similarly. I'm going to put us like kind of that 6th to 10th range. I think that we will improve. I don't think that we're going to. Yeah, 6th to 10th. Yes, I think we're going to improve. I don't think we're going to improve. To top of the comp or anything like that. But I think I see improvement over deficit personally this year.
6 is pretty close to the top of the comp.
I think the injection of youth into the team is going to activate the whole squad. And I think that's going to make a big difference. It might not happen immediately, but I think it will happen.
I'm going to say Moses elevates himself to outright second for player in the competition. Right behind Cleary, pushing his case. However, the forward pack continues to let the Eels down. I just continue to have a little bit of reservations around how that's going to all work out, ideally. I think we will battle back half of the 8 throughout the year. And depending on how Moses comes back from Origin, could depend on if we're battling for that 8 spot or not. I'm not going to commit to that yet. So
I'll just put it out there. Just make sure you go and pre-book your tickets early for round 27. I just want to get it there. I don't want you boys missing out. I don't want.
We've got the storm to come, so just be quiet, you, and just a bit of respect. Thank you on the podcast.